So today's project, we're going to be bleeding out the ABS brake system in this '07 Ferrari 430. So one thing to remember, we're going to be working with brake fluid, and brake fluid is very bad for paint work. Okay, so make sure you keep your hands clean. If you got any rags or something that got soaked in brake fluid, you make sure you get rid of those immediately. Okay. And also with the used brake fluid, try to recycle that stuff. Don't just throw it in the trash, okay? Just check. Usually there's recycle centers in most cities, so try to recycle that, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we got the front hood open here. All right, and we have access to this cover right here. So we're going to remove this panel right here. There's three fasteners. There's one down here, one there, and one over here. Just a flathead screwdriver. Okay. So let me go get a screwdriver now. We're going to remove these fasteners and take this cover off. All right, we have the access panel off, and there's the brake fluid reservoir. See that's this symbol right here? That means there's synthetic brake fluid that's in the system. So if you see that, make sure you use synthetic brake fluid, okay? So basically what I'm going to do now, since we're going to be bleeding the system out, instead of coming over here and keep topping this off to make sure, you don't want to make sure the level goes down too low in the reservoir right here, okay? So what I'll do is I'll remove this cap, and then I have another it's like a bottle that mounts on top of here, and it holds some extra fluid in it, so when the level drops it'll actually add more to it, okay? It's like gravity fed. So we'll add that way I ain't got to worry about the reservoir getting too low and getting possible air in the system. So let me go ahead and get that set up now, and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so we have this fill bottle that's on here, and you can actually find these like on Amazon or eBay. This one here I actually bought at Harbor Freight, so if you have one near you, you can just go over there and pick this up. Okay, so this is one part of a kit that they sell, so you can bleed the brakes with just one person. Okay, so this is the fill bottle here. I have some synthetic .4 brake fluid in there, and it comes with adapters. I'm not going to do a full review on that because that's not what it's about, but there's a little plastic adapter right here that screws onto this filler neck. So this one just happens to fit this reservoir here, and it allows this bottle to slide down, and it stops and it with these little tabs here, and it'll actually hold the bottle in place. So then when you turn this valve here, you open it up, it'll put fluid in, fill it up until it reaches the end of the filler neck here. Not this part here, but on this bottle itself, which goes down in there, and it won't fill up past that, so you don't have to worry about it overflowing or anything, okay? So yeah, this is pretty cool. It works pretty good. This is the same adapter I use on the 360 too. So I still had it on there, so I didn't have to try and fit anything in there. So yeah, so that's that set up there, and then your brake fluid, your measurement, is back here. So I don't have a light right now to show you, but it's back here. Then we can check your level. Okay. So let me go ahead and get the rest of the system set up, because we're going to be using a Leonardo also. What happened with this brake system here is it's got mushy brakes on it, and come to find out that one of the brake lines, evidently this vehicle has been to a shop prior to the owner purchasing the car, and I just don't know if he noticed the brakes were mushy. I think they were fine when he got the car, but after a while they started getting really soft. And come to find, he asked me to take a look at it, And after going down in here, I actually removed this panel here so I can have access in there to some of the brake components, the ABS brake system and everything. And come to find out, one of the lines was leaking. So, and the owner had actually bought a new, from Mercambi, bought a new master cylinder because he thought that was the problem. And I was actually going to change this out, but what happened is I found the leak, so somebody didn't tighten up a line, and it was actually leaking back there. So it must have got either they didn't bleed it right, or it had sucked in air through the leak. So it was a very, very small leak, but it was still leaking. Okay. So anyway, I told him that somebody else had been here working, and because behind here there's like a foam, like a dust protector back there. It was all ripped up. Somebody had went in and just tore it all up. So that's how you can tell somebody was in there. And then later he actually found a receipt in some of his books showing the shop that it was at. We're not going to name any names, okay? Because we all make mistakes. But anyway, showed the shop where it was at, and then showed that they had actually put a new master cylinder and other components in there. So these are all new components in there. So we're not gonna put this master cylinder and other components in there. Okay. So we went ahead and tightened the leak up. Now we're just going to try and bleed the system out. So I have a Leonardo that I purchased about a year ago. So we're going to be trying it for the first time to try and bleed out this air out of the system, because I think there's air in the ABS system. Okay. And then you're going to need some kind of tool to access that. So we're going to mess around. I call it messing around because I don't know the exact procedure. I think it takes multiple guys. I'll try to show you what it says on the screen. But we're going to try and do it with one guy, and that's me, okay? Without anybody pushing on the pedal. So we're going to give it a shot. If not, we're going to have to get somebody to come help us. So let me go ahead and get this system set up, the Leonardo hooked up, and I'll show you what we got. Alright, so this is the diagnostic tool we'll be using today to try and bleed out this ABS brake system. In order to do that, you're going to need a tool like this, okay? So this is the Bluetooth module. This is the cable which actually hooks this module to the OBD2 port inside the vehicle, and then this is the diagnostic tool itself, okay? So yeah, I've had this about a year now, so I'm still learning how to use it. I know the basic functions of it. Maybe in the future I'll go ahead and make a video and kind of go through the details of it, tell you a little bit more about it. But yeah, this one I have a Lamborghini LP560-4 that I drive on a regular basis, so I use this to monitor the clutch wear on it. So it's comes in very handy, so I can pretty much nail down how long it's going to take for that clutch to wear, and so I can plan out in advance when I'm going to have to replacing the clutch in my Lamborghini. So let me go ahead and get this tool hooked up, and we'll get it turned on and show you what it looks like. Alright, so we have the key on in the dash. We've got our Bluetooth module here. Now, one thing we have to make sure is that the voltage is 12.5 or higher, and this one's at 12.7, so it's good. What I did was I hooked up a little charger, and I'm boosting the battery right now to give it some more voltage, so when I start activating some of the systems in here, that the voltage won't drop too low, okay? Also, I put my this is for the charger, so you won't move the vehicle with the charger hooked up, and this just not to start the car until we're finished with the work, okay? So let's get over to the Leonardo and we'll get that fired up. Alright, so we have the Leonardo turned on. I did have it on the counter, but the tool, but the lighting, see, wherever I move, the fluorescent lighting is in the way and it's hard to see. So I found a little area here I could just kind of film this a little bit to show you what I got. So anyway, there's the main screen. So what we're going to do is, since we're bleeding out the ABS, we're going to go to Diagnostic. Okay. We're going to go to Ferrari 430. Guess that's the model there. Then I don't know what that is. I guess that would be like that's the number. I have no idea. Is that chassis number or something? I don't know. Anyway, so that's the only choice there. So you push that, and then gasoline. Okay. And then make sure our voltage is high at a 12.5 volts. So it's good. We checked it. Okay. Hit OK. Okay. Now we're in. Okay. Ferrari 430. All right. So we're going to get into the ABS. So here it is right here. Okay. Connection established. All right. So let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Check components. Let's see what this is here. Okay. Warning: operations you're about to carry out could cause injuries. Caution: you're not responsible. Hit yes. Okay. And then here is the anti-lock braking system. Okay. And then here's your bleeding right there of your components. Okay. So then I guess what you're going to do is you're going to hit you want to go to the farthest brake component first. So right here they have the right rear, which is the farthest. So I'm assuming these all look like they're in the right order. Okay, so yeah, rear left, front left, right, front right. Okay. Anyway, we'll go through that, and then so this is definitely the right one. We want to go here. So I'm not going to do this now. Let me see here. So we're going to push that, and then once we activate that, and then we're going to turn on the bleeding procedure. Okay, but it's going to give you some more instructions. But I just wanted to show you what we set up here, kind of what it looks like right here. But so now I'm going to have to remove the right rear wheel and go ahead and set up the tools that I need right there to bleed the system out on that side. So let me go ahead and get that set up now. All right, so now I went ahead and removed the right rear wheel, and I got basically everything set up. Here's that one-man bleeder system here. This is the second part of it, and it hooks to air compressor. And basically what this does is when you pull the trigger here, it creates a suction through this line here, and it'll pull brake fluid through. Okay, and it's got a lock here. You can engage it and you lock it, and it'll stay on, and then you can bleed it out. Okay. I went ahead and removed these rubber nipples here. Just use your fingers to remove them. I wouldn't advise using a screwdriver or something because you could rip it or something like that. And just go ahead and take them off completely because they'll tend to get in the way when you're opening and closing this. It'll get in the way. So I just take them off. Just be careful with them. Okay. 11mm wrench to loosen this up. I also, before I start bleeding it, I go ahead and loosen these up with a box end. That way you have more bite, because sometimes these can be kind of stubborn to get out. And then once you break it loose, then I'll use my open end because it's already free. Okay. All right, so that's already done. And then let me show you here. I went ahead and put the Leonardo. I got this tripod here that, like I said, I'm trying to hold this so you can see what's going on because I don't want to take this off the tripod. I don't know if you can see. Okay, and I already did this already, so it turned out good. So it already pulled some fluid through, and it's pretty dark. Okay, so let me see if I can get this here. So I'm going to do it again just for you guys. Let me see, so you can learn something like what I'm doing now. Okay, so we're going to hit brake bleed right rear. So let me hit that. Okay, I'll try to read it to you. The lights. Let me see if I can hold this up where you can see it. I'll try to read it to you. Warning: rear left wheel bleeding procedure. During this procedure, it is necessary that the brake pedal is pumped with intervals of 0.5 seconds. Okay, we're not going to do that because we're going to be actually pulling fluid from this end. So we're going to try and do it without actually pumping the brakes. Okay, so I hit OK. And then I guess we're going to hit this again. I don't know why. Right rear. Okay. Then this screen comes up here. All right, let me try to read this to you. Warning: the following is the optimal procedure for bleeding the brake system. Rear right wheel, rear left wheel, front left wheel, front right wheel, rear right wheel bleeding procedure. While bleeding, it is necessary that the brake pedal is pumped with 0.5 second intervals. Okay. Okay. It's kind of hard to read that, but so we're gonna hit OK. All right. I guess we hit it again. You see here. All right. Oh, it's the same screen again. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna push on. All right. Another screen pops out. Let me see if we can get this up here. Carry out a manual bleeding procedure for the inner caliper primary circuit. At the end, press OK. Press OK. The next screen says carry out a manual bleeding procedure for the outer caliper primary circuit. At the end, press OK. So we'll push OK. Now it says open the inner caliper bleed nipple and press OK to run the electric bleeding for the inner caliper. 20 seconds to carry out this procedure. Okay. And I think if I hit OK, it's going to turn on. So let me set this camera up so we can kind of see. And you might be able to see me. Hey, how you doing? Okay. So now we're going to set this up here. I'll do the best I can. I just don't want this tripod to fall over. It's kind of flimsy. All right. So. Okay, so let me hit the, what I'll do is, usually what I'll do is I'll go ahead and activate this air, and then hit OK. And then once the ABS is activated, and the solenoid starts opening and closing, then I've already got suction on this, and then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and open the nipple and then start sucking the fluid through so I can pull it through the ABS system, okay? But what I'm going to do here is I'll just turn it on and see if you can hear the humming, okay? So let me get it activated. And then after that, I'll go ahead and try to pull some fluid. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. There's another screen that popped up. It says pump the brake pedal with intervals of 0.5 seconds. Of course, we're not going to do that because we're going to be pulling fluid out here instead of pushing it out in there. So I'm going to hit OK. Procedure in progress. Please wait. Okay, can you hear the humming? So maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't, but it's activated now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this air here and then bleed it out, okay? So it's got suction to it now. And it's pulling fluid through now, okay? I know you're not going to be able to see it through the line, but all right. All right, so it's pulling. The ABS is still activated. Still going. There it stops, so now I'm going to go ahead and close the valve. All right, and it still has suction to it. There. Now I turn the suction off. Okay. That's it. Super simple, right? Nothing to it. So yeah. And then let me pick this up here, and I'll show you the next screen. Okay. So this is what it says now. Inner caliper bleeding completed. Hold the brake pedal down while closing the brake nipple. Okay. So I'm going to hit OK. Now it says open the outer brake bleed nipple and press OK. Hold on, let me try to read. I'm trying to read through the phone and it's not focusing right. Open the outer brake bleed nipple and press OK to run the electronic bleeding procedure on the outer caliper. Okay. All right, so let me set this back up. And it's going to be about the same thing, but I'll go ahead and show you anyway. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough. All right, let me hit OK on the screen and see what it does. Okay, and it says pump the brakes again, okay, which we're not going to do. Hit OK, and there it goes. Okay. Oh, let me transfer this over to the outer. Okay, it's already activated, so let me put the suction on. And it's pulling fluid through now. Let me check my reservoir under the hood. Plenty of fluid. Okay, and the ABS shut off. So now I'll close the nipple. Alright, it's closed. Now I can let the suction off. Alright, see that to it. Alright, so let me show you what the screen says now. Okay. So I already did this, so we're going to push OK. And then now the screen says right rear wheel bleeding procedure completed. So, yeah. Nothing to it, right? Okay. Now it says, please make sure that all bleed nipples have been closed correctly. Okay. So I'm going to go do that now. I'm not going to push OK until that's finished. Okay. So yeah, let me hold on. Let me get this phone off the tripod, and then we can. Let me get this phone off the tripod real quick. All right, I wanted to show you this real quick. I want to get some more of the fluid out of the system because it's still dark, even though I finished bleeding out the ABS. I want to go ahead and pull some of the dark fluid out of the lines. So you can, let me blow in this. I just wanted you to see this, how this reservoir works, just in case if you haven't seen one before. So it was full. That shows you how much fluid I pulled through it. And see how now once the level drops down in the reservoir, that it'll fill it up. See? Almost kind of reminds you of like a hamster drinking out of one of those bottles. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But like I said, just in case if you've never seen something like this before. Okay. All right, let me shut this off and I'll get back to the rear brake caliper. All right, so we're finished. Went ahead, like I said, I went ahead and pulled after I finished bleeding out the ABS. I went ahead and just did an extra pull of fluid through just because it looks still kind of dark, to try and get every bit of extra fluid I could out of it, that dark fluid. Okay, so it's good. Went ahead and got these nipples, they're tightened down. Okay, and then I put the rubber protective caps here, and I got them facing the same direction too. Okay, so that looks good. And then let's go over and see what the computer says here. Okay, outer caliper bleeding procedure completed. Hold the brake pedal down while closing the bleed nipple, and we had suction on it, so it was good. Okay, that's completed. Please make sure that the bleed nipples have closed correctly. That's good. Okay, so that's good. Got that all cleared out now. So that's done. So now what we're going to do is it's going to be the same thing for all the other wheels. So I'll continue with the rear left, and then this is the order that they want you to do it in, okay? So I'll just follow that. So yeah, it's going to be the same procedure for every wheel. It's going to be the same, basically the same thing. The computer will tell you what to do if you kind of lose track or whatever. So really easy. But like I said, you're going to need a tool to, like the Leonardo, or there's a lot of other great tools out there too. So yeah, if you have access to one, that'd be awesome. Then you can do your own ABS, bleed your ABS system out yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Basically what I'm doing now is just going to put the wheel on and tighten it down and torque it down, and then go to the next one, okay? So hopefully, yeah, I learned something about this one, so hopefully maybe you kind of can see, because there's not anybody online showing you a lot about these Leonardos. So hopefully you can kind of see that even a beginner like me using something like this, it's pretty simple, right? But if you can afford to take the classes, I would say do it, and that way you can learn everything, because this thing does so much that I couldn't even scratch the surface of it. Okay, so we'll end the video there now, and then we'll talk to you soon. Okay, have a good day. Bye.